Good morning, everyone. So, so what we have seen in the last class. So I said you about applications of Python, and after this applications of Python, I said how many modes can you work with the Python here? So you can work with the Python in two modes. Okay, one is called as interactive mode, and one more is what? Scripting mode or programming mode. So what you're doing in interactive mode is you'll be working with the Python shell. This Python shell is also called as command line interface. Okay, so where you are trying to work with what command line? Yes. And after that, I said, how can you work in scripting mode and writing the program in command prompt? Okay, so you can work with the scripting mode or programming mode in two. One is writing a program in Notepad and compiling at what command prompt. And one more is you can write directly in Python editors. Okay. So how can you write a Python program in Python editors? Like in IDLE, how can you write a Python program in Python editors? That is in IDLE. We'll just see how to write a program in Python editors. So how can you write a Python program in Python editors? Python editor, like, yes. So writing a Python program in IDLE. Okay. So writing Python program in a program in IDLE. So IDLE is a default editor which comes with the Python software. IDLE is a default IDE. It's a default IDE which comes with Python software. Which comes with the Python software. IDLE is a default IDE. IDLE is a default IDE which comes with the Python software. So your IDLE, okay, stands for integrated development. I said already, development learning environment. Integrated development learning environment. So this is the default IDE which comes with the Python software. Ideally is the name of the IDE. Ideally is the name of the IDE. So IDE is a code editor. IDE stands for integrated development environment. Integrated development environment. Which are code editors. So what is the name of the IDE here? IDLE is the name of the IDE. IDLE is the name of the IDE. IDE stands for integrated development environment, which are called code editors. These IDEs are called as what here? Code editors. Now, in order to work with IDLE, just search for IDLE. Okay, search for IDLE. So you can find IDLE Python 3.9, 3.10. So you can work with any one of this. Okay. So search for IDLE. Search for IDLE first. So open the Paint. Search for IDLE. So search for IDLE. This is how you are trying to do it. So when you install the Python software, with the Python software, you'll get the IDLE. So just open this IDLE. Okay. Yes. If it is Python 10, open Python 10. If it is Python 9, open Python 9. Okay. Yes. So search for IDLE here. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to search for IDLE. Open IDLE. So this is IDLE. So it allows you to work in interactive mode. This is working in which mode? Interactive mode, that is in shell. If you want to write a program, go to File and select New File. Okay. So if you want to write a program, how to write a program or script? How to write a program or script? Okay. Select the file and select the new here. Okay. Select File and New. This is the first step. So in the file menu, okay, so there's a file menu. Click on this file menu. Click on the file menu. In the file menu, you try to select which one? New file. In the file menu, select new file. Okay, so select the new file. So in the file menu, select the new file. Okay, and then once you select the new file, see here, go to File and select New File, and it will open the code editor. This is a editor where you can write the program. So my program is print. I'm just writing here, hello Python. I just write a message, print hello Python. Okay, you can see. So here you can see, right? So this is what you're trying to do it. Now go to File and select Save. So this is to save the program. I try to save the program. So I just give test1. Save the program. And after saving the program, go to Run and select Run Module. Now you can see the message. What is the message here? Hello Python. You can see the message in shell. Okay. So run and select the Run module. So select the Run and select Run module or F5. Okay. So after typing the program, what you do is, after typing the program, just click on Run and select Run module, so that you can see the output in shell. So after typing the program, select Run module. So this is steps I'm writing it. So after this, what you do is, see, you have two things. Now two windows are there. Now this is shell is there and this is code window. If you want to write another program, select File and New. Okay, I try to reduce the size of this code window. So again, here I'm saying print. Here again, I'm writing print. So what is the message I'm printing? Hello Python. Again, I said hello Python. Now after typing this, save the program Now I'm giving test2. Save the program and click on run and select run module. Now you can see the output. What is the output here? Hello Python. So if you want to write a program, go to file and select new file. To run the program, select run and run module. Okay, select run and run module. So that is to run the program. So every Python program is called one module. Every Python program is called as one module. I said already. So to run the module, you have to select this option. To run the module, you have to select this option. Okay, right. So this is writing a program in IDLE and executing it. Okay, yes. So this is working in two modes. One is in interactive mode and one more is in scripting mode. One is in interactive mode and one more is in scripting mode. Two modes are there. Interactive mode is there and one more is what? Scripting. Interactive mode is there. There is another mode which is called as what? Scripting mode, right? The next we'll talk about, yes. So before start writing programs in Python, okay, let us talk about Python fundamentals. Before writing programs in Python, let us talk about Python fundamentals. Okay, yeah, you can see different modes of Python like this. So before working with the Python, let us talk about Python fundamentals. So when you're showing fundamentals, so before start learning any programming language, okay, first we'll try to see character set. So let us talk about character set of Python. Let us talk about what is a character set of Python. Okay. What is a character set of Python? So let us talk about character set. For example, if a person want to learn English, they'll start with what? Alphabets. Okay. If a person want to learn English, they'll start with the alphabets. So after learning alphabets, next he'll start learning which one? Words. After learning words, next you try to learn which one? Sentence. Okay, sentence. After learning sentence, next he'll learn which one? Paragraphs. Okay, learn which one? Paragraphs. So this is a learning process of which language? English language. In the same way, a person want to learn Python. English is a language and Python is also language. But when how you start learning Python? Okay, you start learning Python with what your characters set. Okay, after learning characters set, you try to learn which one? Tokens. So within the tokens, you try to learn certain things like keywords. Okay, identifiers, keywords, identifiers, and which are called as identifiers, literals. Okay, literals, and you learn operators, keywords, identifiers, literals, operators, and then you learn which one? Data types. This collection of tokens are called as instructions, and set of instructions is called as a program. A set of programs is called as which one? Software. Now, what is a software? A software is a collection of programs. What is a program? A program is a set of instructions. What is instruction? A set of tokens. What is a token? A set of characters. So it is like this. A software is a collection of programs. A program is a set of instructions. An instruction is a collection of tokens. A token is a collection of characters. Like if you want to learn English, you start with the alphabets, words, sentences, and what? Paragraphs. If you want to learn Python, you start with the character set, and then you learn tokens, and then using these tokens, you write instructions, and using a set of instructions can be called as one program, and a program is nothing but a set of programs is called as software. Now, this is how you are learning English and which one? Python, right? So even if I want to learn Python, I should start with what now? Character set. So let us talk about character set of Python. So what is a character set here is, okay. So character set defines character set defines a group of characters, supported by Python language. Or you can say character set defines okay, encoding and decoding standards. Character set defines encoding or decoding standards. So there are two types of encoding and decoding standards. So one is called as ASCII and second one is called as Unicode. So ASCII stands for American Standard Code for Information Interchange. Okay, so Unicode means generally you call it as universal code. So these are called as encoding and decoding standards. There are two types of encoding and decoding standards. One is ASCII. ASCII stands for American Standard Code for Information Interchange. And there is one more which is called as Unicode. And Unicode means what here? Universal code. Unicode is a universal code. So there are two types of encoding standards. One is ASCII and second one is Unicode. So what is the meaning of this is, for example, See, the data will not be stored in RAM as it is. For example, if you're talking about RAM, so RAM are the same thing, you call it as which one? Memory. How the data will be stored in memory? So whenever you are talking about memory, so memory, because computer is an electronic device, and always the data will be stored in the memory in the form of zeros and ones. Okay, so it is stored in which format? Bit format. Bit format are the same thing, you call it as what? Zeros and the same thing is called as zeros and ones. The data will be stored in bit format. The data will be stored in bit format, that is in zeros and ones. For example, I want to store some 25 in memory. I want to store this 25 in memory. How this 25 will be stored in memory? Will it be stored as it is? No. This 25 is converted into what? Binary. This 25 is converted into what? Binary. Binary means you have to divide this with what? 2. Okay. How many times here? 1 and 2. Remainder is what here? 1. And this is 2. How many times here? 6 times. And remainder is what? 0. And this is 3 times. And remainder is what here? 0. And this is 1 time. And remainder is what here? 1. So what is the binary equivalent of this 25? 1 1 double 0 1 1 double 0 1 1 double 0 1. So this is the binary representation of or bit format of which one? 25. So how this 25 will be stored in RAM? 1 1 double 0 1 double 1 double 0 and 1 double 1 double 0 and one more is what? 1. In the same way, I want to store the character called A. I want to store which character? A character. Then how this A character will be stored in the RAM? Yes. So how this A will be stored? Will A will be stored as it is in the RAM? No. So always in the memory data is represented in which format? Bit format. So that is nothing but zeros and ones. Then how this A will be stored in the RAM? Okay, for A, for every character, there is an equivalent decimal value. So that value is called which one? ASCII value, or that can be what here? Unicode. So a language uses either ASCII or it uses either what? Unicode. Okay, according to ASCII, it means a language uses either ASCII encoding standard or it might use what? Unicode encoding standard. ASCII stands for American Standard Code for Information Interchange. It is an encoding and decoding standard. Encoding is nothing but converting character to decimal, and decoding is decimal to what again? Character. So according to ASCII or according to ANSI, I can say American National Standard Institute, according to ANSI. So there are how many characters are there? There are 256 characters supported by which one? ASCII. How many characters it supports? 256 characters. 256. Okay, how many characters it supports? 256 characters. Now if you see, this is the ASCII table. If you see this ASCII table, right, you can see now if you see this ASCII table, now there is a character. What is a character here? A. And what is A equivalent of decimal value? 66. What is A equivalent of decimal value? 65. And B is what here? 66. And C is what here? 67. And D is what here? 68. So what is the 67, 66, 65? These are called ASCII values. All these are called as which value? ASCII values. Now if you see small a, what is small a equivalent of ASCII value? 98. So what will happen if I store? So what will happen if I say capital E? So it will take ASCII value of capital E. We'll see that later. What is hexa? We'll see later. What is the ASCII value of capital A? 65. What is capital A equivalent ASCII? 65. Now you are trying to convert this into what? Binary. How many times here? 32 and remainder is a 1. 32 and remainder is a 1. And this is how many times here? 16. And remainder is what here? 0. And this is how many times here? 8. And remainder is a 0. And how many times again? 4. And remainder is a 0. And this is again 2 and 2 times. And remainder is again 0. And this is 2. And how many times here? 1 time. And remainder is 0. So what is the value of this 65? 100. So 100, 0 and 0, 1. So this is a bit representation of which one? A. So it means A is converted to what? 65 and 65 is converted to bit. So this you call it as which format? Encoding. This is called as encoding. This is called as what here? Encoding. And when you read it, it will convert this bit format into 65 and 65 again convert back to which one? A. Now this you call it as which one? Decoding. This you call it as which one? Decoding. Encoding and decoding format. According to ASCII, ASCII support only characters available in what? English. ASCII support only the characters available in what? English. ASCII support. Okay. ASCII support only characters available in English. ASCII support characters available in what? English. Okay, but it doesn't support characters of other languages. It doesn't support characters of other languages. For example, if you take C uses which character set? ASCII character set. C uses ASCII character set. ASCII support only characters available in English, but it doesn't support characters of other languages. Okay, for example, now modern programming languages, it is not only support the characters in English, it also support the characters from other languages. If you take this is a memory, now I want to store the character okay, I want to store the character which one? If it is 65, it will return 65 only. Okay. If it is 65 only, it is written. Okay. If it is 65, it will return 65 only, right? For example, I want to store the character R. So modern programming languages, modern programming languages. Okay, modern programming languages not only support English characters, not only support English characters, it also support, it also support, it also support the characters of other languages. It also support the characters of other languages. So these languages, this programming languages uses okay, Unicode encoding standard. Unicode encoding standard. So according to Unicode, there are more than 65,000 characters. There are more than 65,000 characters. It support, right? More than 65,000 characters it supports. It means it is not only support the characters available in English. It is not only support the characters available in English. It also support the characters of other languages. It is not only support the characters available in English. It also support the characters of other languages. It also support the characters of other languages. Okay, so just try to see here. For example, I want to represent the things in Hindi. Okay, I want to represent name in Hindi. Name. I want to store name. So suppose assume that some Naresh. Okay, now this is in Hindi. Okay, Naresh is there. I want to store this Naresh in RAM. But will it store this Naresh as it is in the RAM? No. So RAM means in the RAM how the data will be in bit format. In the RAM how the data will be in the bit format, that is in zeros and ones. Then it should take Na equivalent of decimal value, Ra equivalent of decimal value, Sha equivalent of what? Decimal value. And that decimal should be converted into what here? Binary. The decimal should be converted into what? Binary, that is in bit format. So then it uses one encoding standard. What is that encoding standard? It is Unicode. So Unicode not only support the characters in English, Unicode not only support the characters in English, it also support the characters from which languages? Other languages. Other languages. Now, can I write a program in Python in Hindi? Yes. Can I write a Python program in Dutch? Yes, I can write it. I can write in any language. So Python, now you can say Unicode. Unicode is a superset. Unicode is a superset of ASCII code. It means within Unicode, you can also find characters of which one? ASCII. Within Unicode, you also find the characters in what? ASCII. You can also find the characters in what? ASCII. Okay. Yes. This is about character set of Python. So character set, again, I'm repeating it. So what is a character set of Python? So character set defines a group of characters supported by Python language. Character set defines encoding and decoding standards. How many encoding and decoding standards are there? Two. What is the first one? ASCII, and second one is Unicode. ASCII stands for American Standard Code for Information Interchange. Unicode stands for what here? Universal Code. According to ANSI, how many ASCII characters are there? 256. How many ASCII characters are there? 256 ASCII characters are there. But this ASCII support only characters available in what? English and some special characters. Okay, some special characters. Now converting character to decimal, decimal to binary, and binary to decimal, decimal to what again? Character. So this is called as encoding and what? Decoding, right? Because in memory, data will not be stored as it is. In memory, always the data is stored in which format? Bit format, that is in zeros and ones. ASCII support only characters available in what? English, but it doesn't support characters of other languages. Example, C uses which character set? ASCII character set. But modern programming languages not only support English characters, it also support the characters of which languages? Other languages. This programming languages uses Unicode encoding standard. According to Unicode, there are more than 65,000 characters it support. And Unicode is a superset of which one? ASCII. So Python support or Python uses which encoding standard? Unicode. Means how many characters can I use in Python? More than 65,000 characters. Means I can write a Python program in Hindi as well as what? English. Okay, any language I can use to write a program in Python. Okay, yes. Now using these characters, you'll try to prepare what? Tokens. Now next we'll talk about Python tokens. Python tokens. What is a token? Yeah, generally what is a token is? Okay, right now what is a token is? Now token is nothing but, yes, what is token? So generally a token is the smallest, a token is a smallest individual unit. A token is smallest individual unit within program. A token is the smallest individual unit within program. Smallest, yes, individual unit within program. So without the tokens, we cannot write a program or instruction. So without token, we cannot write a program. We cannot write a program, or we cannot write what? Instruction. So token is required in order to write a program or in order to represent what your instruction. So that is where I said token is the smallest individual unit within the program. A token is a smallest individual unit within the program. So without token, we cannot write a program. Okay. And these are the tokens here. Okay. First one is, you can call it as keywords. And second one is identifiers. And third one is literals. And fourth one is operators. And fifth one is data types. Anything, any instruction you write inside a program can be treated as one token. For example, if I'm writing a equal to 10, if I'm writing a equal to 10 plus 20, or if I'm writing a equal to 10, so where this is one instruction, right? A equal to 10 is one instruction. A equal to 10. I just write here like this. A equal to 10. It is one statement. So where A is called as one token. Okay, A is one token and equal is one token and 10 is also one token. So A is a token. So generally A is the token which is called as identifier. So here 10 is identified. 10 is identified with one name. What is the name of this 10 here? A. So A is called as identifier. And there is equal. Equal is called as what here? Operator. And 10 is called as what here? Literal. 10 is called as which one? Literal. It means if you take one instruction or one statement, if you take this as one statement or instruction, if you take one statement or instruction, it is a collection of what here? Tokens. Okay, so A is a token and equal is a token and 10 is also one token. So token is nothing but a smallest individual unit within the program. So without tokens, you cannot write a program. Okay. So within this, the first one is the keywords. What is the first one here? Keywords. So keywords are reserved words. Keywords are reserved words. Reserved words. So you can say keywords are language related, Python language related words. Python language related words. Keywords are reserved words and keywords are Python language related words. The meaning of these words, reserved by Python translator. And these words, okay, these words cannot be used as identifiers. Okay, the meaning of these words reserved by Python translator, the meaning of these words reserved by Python translators, and these words cannot be used as what? Identifiers. You cannot use these words as what here? Identifiers. You cannot use this words as a identifier. Yes. Okay. Yes. These words cannot be used as a identifiers. Keywords are reserved words. Keywords are Python language related words, and the meaning of these words reserved by whom? Python translators. And these words cannot be used as what here? Identifiers. You cannot use. Okay, you cannot use this as user defined words. Identifiers means user defined words. User defined words. Now, if you want to know how many keywords are there, you can simply import one module. So you can say every keyword is one command. Every keyword is one command which is used to perform some task or operation. Okay, which is used to perform some operation or some task. And keywords are case sensitive. Keywords are case sensitive means Python finds the difference between what is that uppercase and lowercase. Keywords are case sensitive, and Python finds difference between uppercase as well as what? Lowercase. Here uppercase and lowercase both are not same. Python finds the difference between uppercase and lowercase. That is what you mean by case sensitive. Finds the difference between uppercase and lowercase. It means capital E is not equal to small e. Capital A and small a both are not equal. Okay, that is what you mean by case sensitive. Capital A and small a both are not equal. That is called as case sensitive. Okay. So finds the difference between uppercase and lowercase. If I want to see the keyword list, okay, I can see keyword list here. How can I see the keyword list is? You have to import one module. There is one module called keyword. Then after that, I'm saying keyword dot keyword list. Okay, keyword dot keyword list. Now you can see these are the keywords supported by Python 3.9. So this is which version? 3.9. So how many keywords are there is? You can use a length function here. Keyword dot keyword list. So how many keywords it support here? 36. So Python 3.9 support how many keywords? 36 keywords. Python 3.9 support how many keywords here? 36 keywords it supports. Okay. So keyword is the name of the module. So that is where data types are there here. That is where data types are there. No. Okay. That is where you have a data types. Okay. Okay. So keyword is a predefined module. In this case, keyword is a predefined module here. Keyword is a predefined module or library. So this library in this case, okay, this library నువ్వు ఏ వర్షన్ యూజ్ చేసినావు మరి వర్షన్ తెలియదా నేను ఏం చెప్పినాను 13 3.9 అన్నాను విచ్ వర్షన్ ఐ యూజ్డ్ హియర్ 3.9 I said 3.9 వర్షన్ చూడండి ఏదో బ్లైండ్గా ఇయ్యకండి వర్షన్ ఏంటి మీది రోజెస్ 3 వర్షన్ ఏంటి మరి ఇది 3.9 అని చెప్పినాను కదా నేను ఒక నిమిషం ఆగలేరా మీరు So keyword list is a keyword list is a variable or list which hold list of keywords supported by which one? Python. So here Python 3.9 support 36 keywords. Python 3.9 version support 36 keywords. Python 3.9 version support 36 keywords. 3.9 version support 36 keywords. So I tried to open Python 3.10 here. Python 3.10. Okay, so here I'll try to say import keyword and print keyword dot keyword list. Now this is a keyword list, and if I want to find the length, keyword dot keyword list. How many keywords are there in 3.10? How many keywords are there in 3.10? 35 keywords. Okay, one keyword is deleted. What is that keyword it is deleted is page parser. This page parser is not there. This page parser is not there in Python 3.10. Page parser is not there. So Python 3.10 support, yes. Python 3.10 version support how many keywords? 35 keywords. Python 3.10 version support 35 keywords. But Python 3.9 supports 36 keywords. Okay, now each keyword is used to perform a specific task. What is it is? For example, if you want to write a function, in Python, you'll try to use one keyword called def. Okay, you'll try to use one keyword called which one? Def. If you want to write a lambda expression, you'll use a keyword called lambda. If you want to write a condition, you can write it by using what? If. If you want to include any library, if you want to import any library, you're using a keyword called which one? Import. You are importing a library by UC. I'm importing which library? Keyword library. But how I'm importing it? By using a keyword called which one? Import. Import is a keyword. So by using which I'm trying to import which module? Keyword module. See, I'll try to say import. Import is a keyword and I'm saying calendar. I try to import which module? Calendar module. Okay, I try to import which module? Calendar module. And then after that, I'm saying print. Okay, print calendar dot which calendar I'm printing? Month calendar and month. So this is a calendar. But how I import this module? How I import this module? I import it by using which keyword? Import keyword. Which keyword I'm using to import this module? I'm using one keyword called which one? Import. And import it followed by what is the name of the module. Getting on. So I'm using a keyword to perform specific operations. I'm using a keyword to perform specific operations. So, but Python 3.10, this is Python 3.10. Python 3.10 support how many keywords? 35 keywords. This is in Python 3.10. Okay, remember this. This is in Python 3.10. The previous one is Python 3.9. Okay, so if you know Python, then you must know all these 35 keywords. Okay, if you know Python means you must know all these 35 keywords. If you don't know these 35 keywords, it means you don't know Python. So at the end of the Python, you'll be learning all the keywords. But see, all the keywords are in which case? Lowercase. Except 3 keywords. What is that? False, none, true. Okay, but why these 3 keywords are in uppercase? First letter is in which case? Uppercase. But remaining all are in which case? Lowercase. Okay, the remaining all are in lowercase, but only these 3 keywords starting letter is what? Uppercase. Because so these keywords in Python, represents what here? Values. Okay, false represent a value, none represent a value, and true also represents what? A value. False is a value, none is a value, and true is also value. So these 3 keywords represents what here? Values. These 3 keywords represents what here? Values. False is a value, none is a value, and true is also what here? Value. Okay. So these keywords in Python represents values. Because of that, okay, so starting letter is in capital. Now that is to differentiate other keywords with these 3 values. So the starting letter is in which one? Uppercase. The starting letter is in which case? Uppercase, right? But remaining all keywords represents what here? Commands or instructions. Commands are what is that? Instructions. For example, you are using if, okay, if, while, for, okay, if, while, for, these are called which statements? Control statements. Okay, for example is, okay, try, accept, finally, okay, rise, okay, assert. These are called keywords which are related with what? Exception handling or error handling. These are used in exception handling or error handling. Example is like def, lambda, okay, return. So keywords used in working with functions, working with what here functions like this. It means each keyword is used for a specific purpose. Each keyword is used for specific purpose. Okay, each keyword you are using it for specific purpose. Okay, but these keywords cannot be used as a user-defined words. These keywords cannot be used as a user-defined words. Length is not a keyword. Function names are not keywords. Okay, length is not a keyword. Okay, yes. So apart from these keywords, you can use your own words. Those are called identifiers. Apart from these keywords, you can use your own words, and that words you call it as what? Identifiers. So what is the identifier is? Okay, identifier is a user defined word. Identifier is what? User defined. Keyword is what? Predefined. Okay, identifier is a user defined word and keyword is what? Predefined word. Identifiers, identifier is a collection of, or it is a user defined word. Identifier is used, identifier is used to identify programming elements. Identifier is used to identify programming elements. You're using identifier to identify the programming elements. Identifier is used to identify programming elements. Programming elements like variable name, variable names, function names, okay, class names, okay, module names, module names, or program names, package names like this. So all these are user defined. All these are what here? User defined. Identifier, identifier is a collection of, identifier is a user defined word, is user defined word, which is a collection of, which is a collection of alphabets. How you can create identifier? By using alphabets, comma digits, and allows uh, only one special character. It allows only one special character, that is underscore. Allows only one special character. What is that special character it allows? Underscore. But it doesn't allow any other special character. Identifier allows only one special character. And what is that special character it allows is underscore. It allows only one special character. And what is that special character is underscore. Okay, right? So only one special character it understands. For example, I said a equal to 10. When I say a equal to 10, for example, in mathematics or in generally, We'll try to say, for example, roll number equal to 1. So here 1 is a value. Here 1 is what here? Value. This is a value and this value is identified. 1 is a value, right? And this value is identified with one name. Okay, what is the name of this value? Roll number. So this roll number is called as which one? Identifier. So what is the value of roll number here? 1. Okay, in the same way, I'll try to say x equal to 10. So what is 10 here? Value. Okay, 10 is a value and this value 10 is identified with one name. What is the name here? X. What is the name here? X. Now, X is called as which one? Identifier. For example, I'm saying X equal to like this. I'm saying X equal to 100. If I'm saying X, what is the value of X here? 100. So in the same way, Y equal to 200. What is the value of Y here? 200. So what is X and Y here? Identifiers. Okay, X and Y are what here? Identifiers. Generally, in programming point of view, this X and Y are called as what names? Variable names. So identifier is a user defined. For example, if I'm saying print is there. What is a print here? Function name. What is a print here? Function name. And function names are what? Identifiers. Function names are identifiers. I'm saying print. What is a message? I'm printing a message called which one? Hello. Okay, in the same way, I'm saying length. What is the name of the function? Length. Len is a predefined function. And I'm trying to say keyword dot keyword list. So what is a keyword list here? 36. But what is this print and length? These are called function names. What is this X and Y? These are called as variable names. So this variable names and function names, all this comes under which one? Identifiers. So identifier is a user defined word and identifier is used to identify what? Programming elements. Identifiers are like variable names, function names, class names, modular program names, and package name. And identifier is user defined word, which is a collection of alphabets, digits, and allows only one special character. What is that? Underscore. And you can create this by using alphabets in uppercase, or you can create this by using alphabets which are in which case? Lowercase. Now this can be either in uppercase, or this can be either in which case? Lowercase. But as I know, Python is a case sensitive language and it finds a difference between uppercase and what? Lowercase. It finds the difference between uppercase letters and lowercase letters, right? We'll be talking about what is identifiers and difference between identifiers and what? Keywords. Okay. But tomorrow we'll see this difference between identifiers and keywords and what are the rules which has to be followed to work with what? Identifiers. Okay. Now today we'll just stop it here and tomorrow we'll continue this, right? Thank you. Right.